Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Your Natural Healer channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Tammy, and I'm so happy to have you here this wonderful Friday morning. To all my normal viewers, I do apologize for not having the Tuesday's Enlightenment or the Wednesday midweek crystal energy available. Excuse me. It has been a crazy week between work and stuff on a personal level, and everything's cool. But it's just been so busy, and I was like, well, I needed to make a decision, and I was like, well, I don't want to miss the Friday Oracle message, so you know what? The midweek energy and Tuesday's Enlightenment will all return next week. So again, I do apologize. So if you're new to the channel, hi, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. And we're going to do, and to my returning viewers, hello. And let's do some real quick housekeeping. Now this one will be long, but this is the end of the long ones, at least for now. So anyway, well, it's not really going to be long. The only thing I wanted to talk about really quick for anybody watching this Friday or Saturday, the lower chakra healing event begins tomorrow, April the 1st. All right. It's 4 weeks of lower chakra healing. Week 1, root. Week 2, sacral. Week 3, solar plexus. Week 4, our heart chakras. It is jammed packed with, you get personal distance Reiki every Sunday just for you for that chakra. There's going to be group distance Reiki. There's going to be some candle magic. There's going to be crystal gridding and meditations and all kinds of stuff. I don't want to give everything away, but it is going to be a wonderful event, workshop, whatever you want to call it. So if you still want to sign up, you can do so. I am going to close signing up on Sunday morning my time, because that is the Reiki. So if you sign up too late on Sunday, I will shoot you a time, or excuse me, if you sign up too late Saturday, I will email you a time slot for your Reiki. Anybody else that has currently signed up, you'll get your time, you'll get your emails today about your time slots. So anyway, it's going to be a great event. Don't miss out. It is going to be awesome. And I don't mean to toot my own horn, but toot, toot, this is going to be awesome. So don't miss out. It is $75 is the cost. But guys, the 4 individual distance, one-on-one personal distance Reiki sessions, because they're going to be 20 to 30 minutes long, that's worth more than $75. Plus, every Wednesday, I'm going to do, for everybody that has signed up, a group distance Reiki session. So you're going to be getting lots of healing from myself, and you're going to be doing lots of healing, and I'm going to teach you how. So don't miss out. If you're interested, the details are below in the description, but you can either go to yournaturalhealer.com, and there's a thing that's a tab, I think it's under other services. It says April Healing Event, or you can go to my educational website, which is lotuscenter.online.com, and sign up for it there. It is going to be epic. All right. So other housekeeping. If you're not subscribed to the channel, smash that subscribe channel, please. It really does help with that YouTube algorithm. And that's for any YouTuber you watch. Always, if you watch them regularly, subscribe, turn off notifications. I get it. You don't want your phones blowing up. And for those who are subscribed, I do say this all the time, so they've already heard this, but I get it. Turn off those notifications. That doesn't offend me. But subscribe. And for those of you who have subscribed or will subscribe, thank you very, very much for supporting me and the channel. All right. So with that being said, we are going to do our Oracle message. Now, usually when I put it out, I say it's for, Friday through Sunday, but I've recently been thinking about it, and it's actually really good for the whole week. I mean, I know we do our tarot reading on Monday, which the tarot reading kind of guides our energy for the week. I like to think of the oracle message as your guide saying, hey, I have an email for you. Here you go. All right. So this one's going to be deep. And this is my deck on shadow work. I was drawn to pull this. And I love doing, because usually oracle messages are usually very more positive, where tarot can go either way. But my oracle deck that I'm pulling from is called the Lantern Oracle, and it is all about shadow work. So, again, if something resonates for you, take a deep breath in, place your hands on your heart and say, yes, I claim this for myself. If it doesn't resonate, maybe try back later in the week, or because this is a general reading and it's I'm not specifically dialed into your energy. I'm going to start shuffling, by the way. Well, hold on. I can't make up my mind this morning. Because I'm not dialing in directly to your energy. Something may not resonate. All right. So anyway, I'm going to start shuffling, but I wanted to show you this beautiful, I have two pieces here. These are both pink tourmaline. Because this is, like I said, the shadow deck, pink tourmaline is very, very good for, the heart chakra, emotional healing, grief, just anything to deal with that deep shadow work in the heart chakra. So I was like, this is like so appropriate. So I'm going to put both pieces there, and I'm going to start shuffling. These are very stiff cards. So anyway, it is shadow work. Whatever comes up, remember that this is not me telling you what to do, as I am not a licensed therapist. I am not a social worker. You make your own decisions. You are responsible for your own life, despite what cards come up. All right. And if you're curious about that disclaimer, it is down below. So pause it right here. Go read that disclaimer and then come back and pick your card. So what happens is I will draw 3 cards. I will line them up in a row, and you will pick either the left, the middle, or the center card, depending on your intuition. I don't want you to think too much into it. And then I will go over each card. This will be time stamped, so if you pick, say, the middle or the right card, you can go ahead and skip to that. Now, at the end, there is what is called the Reiki Hug, and that is 2 minutes of distance healing that I do send to you. So make sure once you're done your reading, skip over to the Reiki Hug and get that distance healing. We all need healing, whether it's spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, what have you, and make sure you get that distance. And I am going to do the heart chakra bowl for the distance Reiki today, just because these cards are very, very, very intense. All right. Let's get the Reiki Master Wand. Get any negativity out of that deck. All right. Are you guys ready? All right. So let me move this tourmaline back because it's kind of a big piece. Make sure I'm only picking one card because these are thick cards too. Okay. All right, guys. So just using your intuition. I don't want you to read too much into it. Pick a card, left, middle, or right. This is your email from your guides that will carry forward through the next week. Left card. You got key to intimacy. And there's that key. And I apologize for the shadow. But it says, intimate love is a core need. I'm trying not to move around so much. I apologize. Is a core need to be met in relation to ourselves and those closest to us. The journey to intimacy often includes learning what love is not. Ouch, that's a deep one. What love is not. Well, and that, honestly, guys, that makes sense because, so many times I talk about the duality of life. Good versus bad, light and darkness, night and day, left and right, north and south. We have to have that duality of life because if we didn't understand what love is not supposed to be, then how would we ever know what love is? Now, in this card, it's not necessarily about a romantic relationship. It could be a relationship with a parent. It could be with a child, a sibling, a friend. Could be yourself. If you haven't watched my video on twin flames, watch it because you're your own twin flame. Intimacy. There's a song, and I know I've said this one before by, I think it's Candlebox. And I can never remember what it's called. But it says, how can you love someone? It's basically a line in the song is, how can you love someone when you don't love yourself? And every time I hear that song, it hits me so hard. And think about that. I want to ask you a question and you answer it to yourself. Do you love yourself? I mean, really love yourself. That you accept yourself for everything that you are. Because how can you love anyone else truly and deeply if you don't love yourself? You can't, because you don't know that love yourself. And loving yourself is about respect. Loving yourself enough to know that you deserve respect, not just from yourself, but from others. When you love yourself, you truly love yourself, you are accepting yourself for everything that you are. You're loving yourself without any condition. And how can you love someone else without condition or just for everything they are if you can't love yourself? Or how can someone love you in that way if you don't love yourself? So I think for some of us out there that we really need to take a look at why we don't love ourselves. Is it something in your recent past? Maybe it's something from childhood. Maybe, you didn't get love as a child, or there was some neglect or whatever. Maybe it was something in a past lifetime that you don't even realize. But why don't you love yourself? And when we don't love ourselves, I mean, yes, love the heart chakra. But this is also sacral chakra, or I'm sorry, solar plexus. You're not seeing that, first of all, most likely both your solar plexus and your heart chakra are either totally blocked or they're very slow. But this is playing hand in hand. I think it starts with something in your solar plexus, and that's obviously affecting your heart chakra, because our heart chakra is all about compassionate love, deep love for ourselves and others. And I'm not saying that, you don't know that people love you, and I'm not saying that you don't love other people super deeply. But how can it be true and pure if you can't even love yourself? If you don't truly, truly love yourself in the most deepest, purest way, you can't understand then what it's like to be loved in that way, or to be able to give that kind of love to somebody else. But the card said, The journey to intimacy, and I'm sorry, this is blurry, often, I can't read that. The journey to intimacy, oops, I had it, often includes learning what love is not. And like I said, this doesn't necessarily mean romantic love, but are there people in your life who I'm just going to say it, that don't really love you? That you give them love and you don't get that in return? That's a really hard question to answer, and only you can answer that. And if you have a relationship like that, I'm not saying that, you need to walk away from a partner or walk away from a friend or distance yourself from a family member. That's not what I'm saying. First of all, I'm going to tell you, if you're at that point that that you feel that you have somebody in your life that can't be intimate, and like I said, intimate doesn't necessarily mean sexual relationship. But if you have someone in your life that you give intimacy to and they can't give it back and reciprocate it, do you really deserve that? I don't think so. And if that's the case with this card, and as you search your heart and your soul, then, it would be my opinion, to talk to that person if they'll listen. But on the other hand, if that person won't listen, then maybe you need to seek out some professional help. Go see a counselor or therapist. Because throwing away the towel, if someone, that you really truly love is worth it, you don't just throw in the towel. You have to work at it. But the work can't be one-sided. And that's why I said, you know what? If you don't talk to somebody and you don't communicate, how will they know how you feel? And if you say, oh, well, they don't care, well, then maybe you need to go get some counseling, some therapy. Because therapists are wonderful with those types of situations. But again, why do you want to allow people to, and when I say to be in your life, I don't want you to take it that I'm telling you to tell people to pack it up and get out. But why would you want people in your life who cannot genuinely respect you or accept you? You should not be internalizing their judgment, their rejection, or their desire to change a certain part of you. That's unacceptable. You need to know your self-worth, and you need to be able to speak up your voice. But again, you need to love yourself first, because maybe that's part of it. Maybe you don't love yourself and they're reacting to that. But remember, if it's worth fighting for, man, fight for it. There's nothing wrong with seeing a counselor or going to therapy and talking things out. Nothing wrong with that at all. But again, you got to love yourself before you can love anybody else unconditionally and before you can receive the same. All right, these cards are deep. We're going to hit up the middle card now. we've gotten this one before, trusting tricksters. And it says, I'm trying to get this so I can read it. There we go. The trickster's only power is your trust. You are always free to withdraw it. Oops. Sorry about that. The thing about tricksters, they make us feel so good about ourselves. They say the right things, they do the right things, and they make us think we're crazy for thinking anything's wrong. But they prey on our weakness. They detect any sense or lack of, or inadequacy, I guess is what I'm trying to say, that you believe you have about yourself. And that inadequacy that you feel about yourself, why? Why do you feel that? That's the root cause. But let's talk about the trickster. They give us all these false promises, telling us all this garbage, and then we get entrapped in their delusion. And they know they're doing it, but we're allowing them to because we give them that personal power. Why are you giving them that power? That's the question that you need to determine. Why are you giving them that power? Because once they realize that they don't sense that inadequacy anymore, they could be the most wonderful person in the world. So again, it's not about blaming people or shifting blame or pointing fingers, but what is this inadequacy that you're feeling? Because with the trickster, one of two things happen. You either tell them to pack sand or you fix yourself and they don't have the power anymore. And this inadequacy, again, I had this in the last reading. This is solar plexus and heart chakra playing together. Our heart chakras are seat of deep love, deep relationships, love of ourselves, compassion. And if we have some kind of inadequacy, of course we don't love ourselves. But why? What is this? And our solar plexus, that determines our self-worth, our personal power. And if you have a trickster in your life, you're giving up that personal power. So what is it? Why? What is making you feel inadequate about yourself? Is it something that's happened recently? Maybe it was a long-term relationship that ended. Maybe it stems from something 20 years ago. Maybe something from your childhood. But you're allowing people to give you spew these lies, basically, and false promises. And then you feel all happy and loved and giddy. And like I said, this might not be a romantic relationship. This could be a friendship. It could be a work relationship. But you're allowing them to feed off your own insecurity. So the first step is you need to determine why you are insecure. What is it that they're picking up on? What are they feeding off of? And then you need to work on fixing that. So again, maybe you need to go see a therapist. Maybe you need to go speak to a priest or a rabbi or a minister. A friend, a family member. But remember, you don't need anybody's validation in this world. You know, you need to recognize what is going on is contrary to what you were groomed to believe is taking place, because that's what they're doing. They're grooming you to believe their lies and this delusion. You need to nurture yourself with trust, courage, and passion. Because you gave all that to the trickster and they are using it against you. Take it back. And let me tell you, as soon as you take that back, you are going to recover so fast and so beautiful. And that trickster, it could be end up being your best friend or your best buddy at work or the love of your life or whatever. It could turn into a beautiful relationship. Maybe not. And you know what? I don't care about the trickster. You know, I mean, if it is a very someone very close to you, then, you know, maybe you guys need to go do some counseling together. But what I'm concerned with is, what is this inadequacy? Because, my friend, you're beautiful inside and out. I say that all the time, and I really mean it when I say that you are a beautiful soul. You are. And I can tell you that 10 times a day for the next month. And unless you believe it, this is not going to change. And this won't be the only trickster in your life. Because there's people out there like that. You know what? Know your self-worth. Take back your power. Build up that self-esteem. Again, solar plexus, heart chakra. Oh, but I think everything's going to be okay with this. You know, I don't get bad vibes from this at all. Again, you really need to focus on your solar plexus, your self-confidence, your self-worth, your personal power. And you do that. And like in this picture, the trickster, yeah, it could be a good thing. Don't let anybody take your personal power. All right, let's go ahead and pull the right card. And you chose enough. What's that say? You were born enough. Well, that card pretty much says it all. You know, we got a lot going on here with this card because, you know, the shadow work, yeah, it does deal about your heart chakra, you know, about loving yourself. And normally when we don't love ourselves, there's usually also, when we have huge issues in our heart chakra, there's also issues in our solar plexus because we're lacking that self-worth and that confidence and self-esteem. But then this, because it says you were born enough, I'm even going to take it a step further and say your root chakra as well. And your sacral might be a little affected, especially if it's it is in between your root chakra and your solar plexus. So I can't see how it wouldn't be. You need to know and honor your boundaries and I cannot speak. Prioritize your spirit self's need for authentic representation. And you know what else? Oh my goodness. And I didn't even really pay attention to it until that thought came into my head. You know, this color here, this turquoisey blue, that's third chakra. And third chakra has to deal with our authentic self, being our true self, speaking our authentic truth. You know, I'm not trying to be negative Nelly here, but, you know, you need some work on your chakras. Especially if this is resonating, you need to focus on your chakras. There are a lot of people who, and it might not be maliciously that they're doing this, but they don't respect you as you are and on your terms. And I think that happens to a lot of us. I think at some point in our life, we either grow away from ourselves or towards ourselves, or, we can grow away from ourselves and then eventually we grow back to ourselves. And this definitely is a card about growing away from yourself. And we usually grow away from ourselves and create this false identity, being what we think other people want us to be, being who they want us to be. And whether it's a spouse or a friend or a child or a sibling or a parent or a coworker, you can be all those things, but you need to be yourself because you are enough. When you're not and you're playing this facade, you're compromising yourself. And a life filled with self-compromise and erasure, because you're erasing your authentic self. When your life is filled with those things, you're going to shatter from the inside out. And I know that's not what you want. Who would want that? You need to be your authentic self. And why aren't you being your authentic self? That's the first question. Why? Is it something in your recent past? Is it something that stemmed from earlier in life or your childhood? Why can't you be yourself? Is it stemming from something, your confidence? Excuse me. If you don't know your own, or you don't have any confidence or self-worth, why? That's question number 2. You need to find the part of yourself that does not feel right. And I don't know what that is for you, but there's something within you that doesn't feel right, and you need to figure out what it is and why you don't feel that way. And I guarantee you this, because like I said, this is your 3rd chakra. This is going to be stemming from that solar plexus. Were you bullied? Did your parents ignore you? Did you not have love? And again, yes, your chakras need help, and maybe you need to go talk to a therapist or a counselor, a friend, a rabbi, a priest, a reverend. But you need to know your self-worth. You are enough. I know I tell everybody all the time, you're a beautiful soul. I mean that. But you have to believe it. It's not, I don't say it just to say it and to fill the air with my voice. I hate the sound of my voice, actually. You need to believe that. Be yourself. You know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, then you need to start doing a little bit of shadow work. All I need to say to you, this is what your guides want you to know, is all that you are, all that you have, and all that you do is enough. Stop trying to be what everybody else wants you to be. Like I said, you can be a spouse, you can be a mother, or a father, you can be a brother or a sister, You can be a friend. You can be a coworker. You can be a supervisor. You could be a doctor. You can be a nurse. You can be anything. Those are just labels of relationships. I'm talking at your core. You need to be you, your authentic self. Guys, you are enough. All right, that was deep. I see why now I don't do these cards a lot. I need to have my whole set of chakra bowls up here and do a whole lower chakra, because we talked about pretty much everything. So I'm going to get the heart bowl right now. And go ahead while I'm doing that. Make sure your cell phones are on silent. It's only 2 minutes, so again, you can put them on silent for 2 minutes. Got to put this down so the bowl, when it vibrates, it doesn't make like horrible noise. All right. Now again, I know that reading oracle message was really deep. Those are deep cards. Again, it's not the best stuff to resonate, but we do need to do shadow work on ourselves as well. If anything came up for you that was really, really hard, then you know what? Maybe reach out to, like I said, I think I said this to everybody, but I'm going to say it one more time. Reach out to a friend, reach out to a therapist or a family member, or go talk to someone. But no matter which card you drew, I really believe you're awesome, because you are a soul. And that's awesome. Believe in yourself, because, if you don't, nobody else will. And let me tell you, you start believing in yourself and you start loving yourself, this world becomes so much better. And it's pretty incredible, the gift we've been given to be here on earth. And remember, when we signed our soul contract, we signed up for this. You guys are fantastic. All right. Go ahead, if you haven't already done so, get nice and comfortable, close your eyes, start relaxing, take some deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. After you take a few deep breaths, focus on natural breathing, nice and easy. Go ahead and start focusing on the top of your head, working your way down your face, relaxing all the muscles in your face. Go ahead, relax your shoulders, your neck, your chest, working your way down to your arms, your wrists, your hands, and your fingers, your midsection, your legs, your calves, your toes. Scan your whole body. I want you nice and relaxed. Receive this Reiki healing. All right, go ahead and start wiggling those fingers and toes. Take your time opening your eyes. I just want to say again, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I know that was deep. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. Please, guys. And I did not set these cards up. They just happened to all focus on the lower chakras. But I am going to say, if you haven't signed up for that lower chakra healing, you really don't want to miss out. I mean, just like I said, the 4 distance Reiki sessions over the next month are worth it themselves. So anyway, I just want to say again, thank you so much. Check out yournaturalhealer.com. Also, lotuscenter.online.com. And you can follow me on Facebook as well. And all this information is in the description below. So with that being said, I will see you guys bright and early Monday morning. Have a fantastic weekend. Go live your best lives, but do it the natural way. Namaste, my friends.